picks up the kill and the first. Pulling and bring it down. So no flash away. He's in the pool. At wala na si Arce. A bit too low and kill rate. That would be a start.
No time to talk. This is the final one, and I'm just saying I'm not playing. Take a walk. No time to talk. You've got a long way ahead. You better hear what I say and take a walk.
Good afternoon, everyone, and we welcome you back to the LOL Collegiate League Summer 2017, powered by the Lenovo Challenge. What you know, we will be your shoutcasters for this matchup. I am Vulcan, with me is Arctic. So coming in from that previous games we've seen, gotta say I have a lot of expectations coming from these players, new teams, new format, new competitiveness. I'm actually throwing all my previous knowledge of LCL out the window.
Yeah.
Because right now we're going to be experiencing a whole new different set of players and 6 champions.
I mean, that's usually what happens. Every time, I mean, especially for me, like, whether it be PGS, LCL, any competition, like, you always go into this with the preconditioned mindset, oh, this team is definitely going to perform. They did so well, and then all of a sudden, all these newcomers, boom, and some of the other teams that have been it for a while kind of lose their luster a bit, but some...
They lose their shine in some way where newer talents tend to shine more, but let's get to the drafting phase. This is going to be the match between University of Southeastern Philippines versus Ateneo de Davao University.
Yes, indeed. So
ADDU, again, in this matchup. I really am following ADDU, but as for USEP, I am gonna put my finger onto ADDU on this one because of the sheer experience they had, especially with Kitanda and Gosu, and the fact that they perform pretty well at the early phase, but tend to really falter in the late phases of the game.
yeah, indeed. And I mean, we'll just have to see if they could make those small improvements to what shortcomings they did have. So, looking at the balance, the Oriana and Jace going to be taken off the board from Kitanda, as well as this kind of a flexi Jace here. Could go to Gosu, could go to Kitanda, so that's 2 birds with 1 stone right there. Rek'Sai going to be taken away from Kya. I like that name.
If I recall, onto ADDU's playstyle,
Yes.
that they would like to go for more lockdown champions, and it's kind of weird that they are the ones removing these type of champions. Focus bans, respect bans up to Kiao. Look at that, 3-2 junglers removed onto the first phase. Knowing that Blue Side does have the high priority, they will be picking the Lulu.
Interesting that they're prioritizing this Lulu right there. I wonder what's up their sleeve if, you know, leaning, because there's so many other options that you could choose. Like, you have Dejana, for example, you have the Sejuani. Like, there's so many different priority picks that you can go for. But then again, I guess Lulu is another one of those champions that you can kind of utilize in this case. So, of course, it's going to be a support for support, Lulu, and then Jana going to be locked in for Ateneo de Davao University. Interesting, though.
Their
Like,
drafting is pretty safe. Pretty, like, they're not revealing too much just yet. Just playing it slow.
yeah, I mean, slow in the sense that...
Never mind, they're not slow anymore. Look at that reveal. The Kog'Maw, you leave that open. Most of the time in the LCL, they do pick it up instantly. They do rush the Rage Blade, and that's all you need.
That's going to make quite the combo paired with this Jana, especially once the Jana does manage to rush the Ardent Sensor. I mean, we've seen a lot of games where Kog'Maw just slays. Me personally in ranked, kind of hurts sometimes when you go up against an enemy Kog'Maw and just shreds you down with all that attack speed. But in exchange though, gonna go for an Olaf.
So that would be an Olaf hover against Kog'Maw. So this does complement the speed boost from the Lulu. So let's see what will be their pick for the last phase. The last pick of the first phase for USEP. Right now, Kog'Maw and Ajana, they do have a lot of room to work with. They have a lot of opportunities. Lots of options to at least deny and shut this bot lane down. They will be picking up the Ziggs.
Wow, interesting. I'm actually wondering if this Olaf is going to go to Kya or to Sai, because technically you can flex this Olaf a bit. Depends on how this goes. So that does leave a little bit of a question mark for Ateneo de Davao University going into the second banning phase as to where USEP will be bringing this Olaf exactly. I'm slightly assuming this might be a jungle Olaf, but I'm not just so sure yet. But looking at the bans for the second rotation, it is going to be the Vayne. So
they can actually, in a way, flex this pick so that they can play ADDU to their own hands, make it a pick in a way that you can really screw up their mentality in a way that you can strategize more. You can also plan ahead. This would be a Jarvan. Can be top, can be jungle, but most favorably it would be the jungle Jarvan. But seeing how you said they are removing, wow, look at that, Vladimir, Vayne, Twitch, heavy focuses onto Evian.
Man, I mean, that's actually gonna be pretty interesting. I mean,
wow.
Like in this case, okay, so we have the Vayne taken off the board, we have the Twitch taken off the board. I mean, the Vayne, I'm assuming, is probably a pick that they scouted as one of the more efficient picks that Evian can use. So with these two marksmen off the board, I'm kind of wondering what they might go for. Tristana kind of open right there. Not sure if it's the best for this composition. But yeah, we'll just have to see what marksman USEP eventually fields out for this draft here. But nonetheless, looks like we do have the Cho'Gath land. No surprise. No surprise at all.
Cho'Gath. Of course, definitely you would ban a Cho'Gath because AKA tank. That is not a tank. A tank does not deal 2,500 damage in just a second. That is not a tank, but more of a wrecker. So that would be understandable for USEP to remove it since this could be a jungle Olaf. Yes, it's a jungle Olaf. Seeing how they are removing some top champions. Now they have a hover onto the Maokai, whereas ADDU, they do have the Galio. Can go mid lane, can go top, but favorably it's the mid lane because you can fully utilize the hero's entrance of Galio. But let's see how USEP will finalize their pick. This is the blue side, so let's see what they've got. It would
Tristana.
It's the Tristana, so I was expecting that maybe in the back of my mind, I thought I would see 80s.
Oh, I know Vulcan's gonna be very happy about this pick. If this gets locked in.
If it's locked in, that means the lockdown potential is huge. And I was actually expecting maybe both. I am happy with both picks, but okay, I'm sad. But now when I look at the Ziggs, I thought I would be expecting the classic, the very much forgotten. And when I saw a Ziggs, it really made me think back on the times where bot lane Ziggs was a thing, not anymore. But seeing how a Ziggs was picked up for instant burst, that's pretty understandable. But now I guess it would be the Galio in the top lane to protect the Cogmount for the Juggernaut.
Indeed. So nonetheless, we have our compositions locked in right here. Interesting enough, I'm slightly worried for
what?
USEP a bit, just a bit, because if they can't get some solid lockdowns through this Maokai, it kind of leaves off less options as to how they could get in onto the other onto the squishier members of ADDU here.
I mean, go big, go home. That's the always mentality you should have. High risks, high reward. If there is like low risks and high reward, don't take it. And always take for high.
Yeah. What's interesting here is that with this Jarvan the Fourth, I feel like this could cancel out a lot of the rage that Olaf brings towards running slightly for the backline, going straight for the Kog'Maw, because, you know, sure, Ragnarok on Olaf cancels the disables, but you can't, doesn't necessarily mean he could walk through walls, so getting caught out in a Cataclysm really makes him lose out.
That's why you have to flash.
Oh.
But if it's on Colin, that is going to be trouble, especially knowing that this type of this type of composition for USEP is like, in a way, heavily based on terrain and movement. And Olaf excels in that. But when you put, like, let's say, terrain like the Cataclysm, CCs such as Galio, that really removes the potential of USEP's clash in a way that you cannot just do a front door. Front door could be just complete suicide, seeing how you see a Zed, a Kog'Maw, a Janna. So it's wise, it's smart that USEP picked up the Olaf, seeing how instantly they saw the Janna and the Kog'Maw. But in a way, I feel like USEP also fell into the hands and the plans for ADDU. I think at this kind of matchup, I would favor ADDU.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. I mean, there's a lot of ways that they could deal with the Ziggs. Like Kitanda, especially if Kitanda really gets things going. I'm kind of worried for just how fast the Ziggs could potentially go down. And
so you're saying you're scared how fast the Ziggs can actually feed?
Not necessarily feed, I'd say, because
for only way for you to actually excel in a champion that can snowball is the rate of feeding, the rate of how you do badly perform. But when you compare to a Ziggs and a Zen, the Zen has superior mobility.
Oh, definitely.
But Ziggs does have the saving grace, the satchel charge.
Oh.
If ever the Death Spark does fall to Ziggs at the right time, he can just use satchel charge and just disperse him. So it's more of a skill matchup.
Indeed. And you can't underestimate the fact that as far as how fast they could siege turrets, I mean, look at this. Like you mentioned, satchel charge on Ziggs. Then you have a lot more power with the Tristana. Olaf in itself deals AD. Yeah. So imagine how fast those turrets could go down. I'd love to see if by chance, if by luck, we'd see a lot of Mountain Drakes that go to USEP, then that potentially could be their saving grace as well. I feel like in which case, there's going to be a lot more value for USEP to really secure Dragons.
Well, that's up to the RNGesus to figure out himself. So let's hope for the RNG that it does fall to the favor of the Olaf and the Tristana. We'll be seeing that onto the Rift pretty shortly. Once again, we are casters. I'm Vulcan, with me was Arctic. You are watching the Lenovo LCL Garena Summer 2017 Challenge. What you know. So let's see. Who do you think is going to win? Who are you voting for? Who is your favorite team / player or school? Because there's a running trend here. I mean, when you actually join the LCL, you see those people's faces on the posters, the Facebook page, your face, your picture. Sometimes it's on the intro video, like what you saw.
Yeah.
You get a lot of fanboys, fangirls, fanboys, even your friend who are very, in a way, supportive in a teasing way, really are encouraging. Oi, go play in a shot. Look at him, Lodi. Stuff like that is pretty common, and I actually read through the comments and I get pretty amused.
Yeah. Sometimes it can get really amusing, but nonetheless,
but in a good way,
in a good way. But nonetheless, I mean, looking at this matchup here, again with the game that we've had yesterday for ADDU University, kind of fell short of expectations in a way. There's so much that they could have done earlier on to help remedy what struggles they had later on. So I'm hoping that they could get their act together in a way. Looks like Harley will be playing for ADDU University now. So one of the players that is actually quite known for their roster. So I'm glad to see that he's back on the field for this game. So we'll just have to see, maybe that will help remedy some of the deficiencies that they've had from the previous game that we witnessed.
Or this could be the point in where, at least, it works both ways. It works in a way that you can use it to your advantage. But we do see that when you suddenly change the lineup, if they're not familiar with it, it's really hard when you are in the sub position.
Yeah, definitely. In
my opinion, because you get to practice a lot, right? But it's really different when you're in the main roster. But let's see though. This is going to be USEP AGS on the blue side versus ADDU ROB on the red side.
Oh yes, let's get into this game right here. And I'm really looking forward to how this Olaf would play out. I mean, not exactly the most optimal number of CC I'd prefer out of a composition that does run an Olaf. But then again, I guess there's definitely a lot of pressure as far as this Maokai really setting up so that Kya, Gem, and even Evian could just relate their full onslaught of potential damage that they can.
In a way, Kya can be this fanboy, let's say, ooh, let's take a comment for Vath. Hey Vath, I'm your huge fan. Goes Ragnarok with Ghost, goes charge it out and kill him. Because he will be eyeing that Kog'Maw when it comes to the late game. And might prioritize the top lane, seeing how Gosu can be easily ganked, seeing he's the Galio. But when it comes to Kitanda in the mid lane, it will obviously be Gem, who will have a hard time pre-level 3. But when it comes to level 6, of course, he does have to watch out for Kitanda's level 6 spike.
So there we go, looking at the starts here. Both junglers starting off the same side of the map here. So it's interesting how this will transition to ganks towards potentially maybe top. Because if you're going to look at both junglers here, could really bring the pain, while as opposed to both Maokai and Galio, more of the tanky champions here. So in a way, Maokai and Galio, they'd ideally want to give the kills maybe to both Kya and Kang respectively for both teams, because with the CC that both the Maokai and Galio has, makes for an easier lockdown whenever ganks do transpire. But we'll just have to see. Again, it really depends on how these junglers play their rotations as well, because in previous games we have seen there are so many opportunities for these junglers to go at certain lanes, especially when living up to win conditions, but unfortunately at times they don't. So looking at this though, a little bit of a trade-off.
Yeah, it's going to be fast for the Kog'Maw. Understandable, this is actually nature at its work.
Yeah,
it's only natural for a Kog'Maw to a bit be behind when it comes to laning against the Tristana with a Lulu. Normally you would have gotten the Lulu with the Kog'Maw.
Oh, definitely.
That would be an instant steroid onto the Kog'Maw in a way that the attack speed plus the Ardent Censored Rush for the Lulu will be very beneficial. But seeing how, if I had to guess, that Lulu is going to be rushing that Ardent Censored faster than the Janna due to the nature of how Lulu can easily poke compared to a Janna. But so far we're seeing Kya approaching the top side. The low on health and mana. Same as Kang is spotted in the top side. He may rotate back. The Blast Gun was used. It is big trouble. Kang is in the vicinity, but Gosu will be taunting two members. Now may lure him into the bait, and that is the bait. But the first blood did go to Kang. That will be a trade-off for Kang, though. He may get a double, but no. That flash will be burned for side.
Man, oh man, 1 for 1 though, but still. As far as who you'd ideally want to be getting those kills, I'd say probably, well, I guess it's fairly equal in a way. But then again, because of this dust here from Kya, it will grant a little bit more of an advantage for Kang in a way, because he could get to levels a little bit more faster because he is alive. So again, after that gank, just go straight to farming, while Olaf, with that death, has a few seconds, will be a few seconds behind. Doesn't necessarily deter him totally, but then again, it does manifest itself. Level 3 versus level 4 right now, so that does give a little bit of XP up for Khan.
Ooh, so far top lane side is actually a lane that's dealing a lot of damage, seeing how Corrupting Quotient is the starting item for the Galio, but for Sai, he did suffer a loss for his jungler, but right now, Kitanda looking for some blood. He does have Flash and Ignite. This will be a tower dive with Gosu. Tanking the hits for Kitanda. Ignited off. Sai lives his another day, but no, a Flash for Kitanda will be the killing blow.
Interesting that he ran in that direction. I feel like it could have gone much better if he just kind of stuck around the turret, because that way the enemy would kind of be forced to commit to continue damage on their turret. But because Sai ran towards the direction of the brush, you know, easily allowed the Zed or Kitanda to get out of turret damage. So, somewhat unfortunate. I feel like it could have definitely been played out there.
Oh, well, that is going to loosen that trade-up in damage. Look at that damage ignited by the Janna. One more hit by the minions. There is the kill, plus the assist, and the flash in by the Lulu for the attempted kill. Now they give the double kill towards Carly.
Oh man, this might be a kill that goes toward Carly though, but still,
Ooh,
yeah, really trying to force
oh,
it, but no!
The double kill for the Undertow. That was not expected. Looks like Kya just won the jackpot right there. Buffs refresh plus the double kill.
Man, not the best positioning right there when you're low health. Just one swoop of a throw. And
let's see a replay of that. What happened there? Let's see.
Okay, so Kya is still kind of lingering here, going up against
Here it comes.
Kang. But this was absolutely crazy right here. Man! That's like a textbook definition of what literally hitting two birds with one stone is. In this case, one axe for two champions. man.
In a way, I think Kya is more surprised than us. It's
Yeah,
like, oh wait, I
without
got a
a doubt.
double kill from that? I was just expecting the Jarvan, but right now this gives Kya a lot of power in his own jungle. How often he can gank since I think his buffs got refreshed, so he can stay in the jungle longer. And seeing how he did instantly finish the Cinder Hulk enhancement for the jungler item, this is going to be USEP, AGS, the other offensive side, but seeing how I think Evian is a bit too angsty there. Kang is making his way towards the top side, knocked up in the air. Sai will take another CC. That would be the Nature's Grasp doing its work. That will be enough for Kang and Gosu to back off.
Yeah, definitely getting a little bit of damage there onto Sai. Not necessarily lethal, and doesn't necessarily deter Sai either. He technically doesn't need to recall. Still quite healthy, and this is a rather tanky champion. So
Ragnarok is up, but
man,
no Ghost. He may wait for the cooldown, but he's impatient. Let's see how they go out. Howling Gale has been used. Undertow Slow did not connect, but I think that would be a lot of damage connecting onto the two champions in the bot lane.
Man, I felt like that could have gone so much better had they coordinated. But then again, a good attempt though. Definitely a good attempt. Good pressure here coming in from Chow. But nonetheless, looks like we'll be going for the recall for the meantime. Does stock up on control wire, so this will definitely be great as far as establishing vision. Looks like blue buff will be turned over to Kitanda in this case. Good job, jungler. Sharing the blue buff.
And that's onto a Zed, so he will be able to match the spam ability of that Ziggs.
Oh, no.
That is a shame. That is heartbreaking. But for Gem's itemization, it's not. The Catalyst has been finished, so he will be going for a more defensive build path. I wonder what he can complete with this Catalyst. Could be the Roa, could be something else. But let's see how he may actually surprise us, because maybe it's not the Roa, but obviously it could be the Roa.
Indeed.
At least he is building more defensive. And that is going to really delay the spike of Kitanda. He just picked up the serrated Dirk and the Cloak, so not enough defensive items there. He may rush the Nightshade if he wants, Edge of Night if he wants to actually start going all in.
Man, oh man. Look, yeah, going for the sneaky move. Gonna try to steal this red buff though. Will get spotted out by Vision though. And here comes Kong, gonna go for the response. And a word for Kya.
Oh, locked into the air. Hero's entrance is now. Two-man knockup, that's gonna happen. Kya is on Ragnarok, but with Kitanda taking the kill. That will be the Mega Inferno Bomb, securing the kill on the Kang. Fight's not done yet, but a double kill for Kitanda will be his prize. He does juke him out with the shadows from his ultimate, and now Gosu. May I for Gem call it now? Maybe one more shuriken combo. Oh, that's a bit too close. Danger close. It would be a clutch for Kitanda. He is on a rampage with a KBA of 400.
Man, he's gonna have a ball with that KDA right now. And this is kind of the fearful thing for Gem here. That's something that he doesn't want to happen when you're a Ziggs, especially going up against a Zed, because
Overcommitment.
Gonna make him very, very much lethal for these squishy targets on USEP here. So there's definitely gonna be a lot of reliance.
That's a lot of damage, but that's the Howling Gale for the reset, a lot of health regenerate, and the Wild Growth for the survival of Evian. Evian needs to calm down. He needs to take a drink, chill out, farm, relax.
Needs to take a sip of his IGN's namesake. But yeah, I mean, oh no.
The classic over the shadow cheese Kitanda, however. Let's see what happened in the jungle.
Yeah, looking at the replay here, Kya might have overstayed his welcome a bit.
Oh,
you know, really forced for that red buff right there. And the tricky part here is that Gem wasn't able to get the faster response here. And sure, was able to get quite the damage on the members here, but nonetheless, still not taking down Kitanda, suffered as a casualty himself, ultimately ending in a 1-for-3. Not exactly the best trade-off.
I guess that's what happens when you actually rush a defensive itemization path for a mid laner who is meant to be bursty, like the Zig. See? Blasting one already. Maybe if he had that sooner, the situation would have been different. So
too much of a precaution, I'd
Too
say.
much of a precaution, and because of that, was it a triple? Yeah, it was a triple.
That was a triple.
That was a triple, and another kill in the bot lane. Now he has the Dusk Blade, one of the favorite items, the best items. I mean, you can do anything you want with it. You can cut tomatoes. You can do anything with that item, and it will guarantee results. But right now, since at this point of the game, Kitana is level 9, Jam is level 8, this gives Kitana a lot of power in his lane, and is almost mid-game spike already. I mean, at this point, he's snowballing.
Man, this is a moment wherein
Oh man, Kang.
the squishier targets here for USEP, such as the Ziggs, such as the Tristana, they're going to be heavily reliant on the
boy.
utility for Lulu, especially when assassination attempts come along coming from Kitanda.
They go for a tower dive. Cataclysm is there. Kang flashes out with Kitanda. Flashing away from the turret's range. That would be him, 6-0. That is going to look really deadly for USEP if they do not strategize. They do not have any sort of countermeasure, because their countermeasure was that, hey, let's go for the Rod of the Ages for Ziggs. But that's not working anymore because, look at that, the Dusk Blade has been completed.
Now this is going to be somewhat limiting for Kia, knowing that because his other teammates aren't quite up to par with the lead that he has himself, he's kind of restrained in a way, because for ADDU, as far as the key members that should be okay with KDA right now, the Kitanda in himself on this Zed 6-0, that's a threat for 2 members of USEP right there. And I can only imagine just how painful that'll get when the assassinations come along. So overall, USEP definitely in a tricky position, I'd say, unless they could find the right clashes that they could put in their favor. What they kind of want to do is really try to push for Kitanda not getting the easy ticket onto killing members of USEP.
At this point, any sort of contingency plan that USEP had for Kitanda is out the window. Look at that. Dusk Blade, Hex, Rinker. You're better off just CSing all the way to the 20-minute mark and just wait out for your item. He has yet to finish the Roa, and that has to charge up. So more and more, the countermeasures that Gem had in the early phases of the game worked. But that all went wrong when Kia made the wrong choice and said, this red buff, let's go for it. And that's how everything turned bad.
What's even more worrisome,
And now here it comes.
Oh,
no. Is doing a lot of damage despite a Maokai. Goes to pick up the kill. Look at that. Deathmark is on to Kia. That would be a trade-off, yes. Olaf did get slain by the Zed. Thanks to the Deathmark, that would be a 2-for-2 trade. But at least the shutdown bounty will benefit USEP more.
Indeed, but as far as getting first turret, this might be the opportunity for
Cataclysm's up, and the burst is there on turret range. That would be Evian. Gets taken down by Vap.
Man, oh man, this is just so tricky for USEP here. And first turret, indeed, this will be a very, very easy takedown. But yeah, one thing here is that I feel like Gem could have had a lot more value in a sense, because one thing about going Rod of Ages for Ziggs is that you miss out on your ability to go full spam on your abilities. Like, let's say if you try to go for other items like Moralonomicon, for example, getting that 20% cooldown, or if you really want to kind of build defensive while also having that opportunity to cooldown, especially against the Zed. I feel like a Zonius would have been so beneficial because you get that armor against the Zed, making you a little bit susceptible to the damage, and at the same time
completely counter his Deathmark.
Exactly. So that could have potentially been a missed opportunity. Plus, the cooldown in itself has value, 10% sure, but I feel like that's a big thing when, especially you're in your Ziggs, you want to try to spam as much damage as you can. As looking at things right here, technically, when you're going to look at other elements like Evian on the Tristan and Kia, not really exerting the most damage just yet until they do it. But then again, looking at this Olaf right now, 5-3-1, it's actually pretty nifty.
He's the most concentrated gold in his entire team, which is not what you want. You want it on Gem, you want it on Evian at least. But from what happened in the bot lane, the gold God, I mean, I saw Bath, he got 650 gold, all of it, and that just goes to show that he will be rushed. He did finish up the Guinsus Rage Blade, same with his support Carlane, the Ardent Sensor, and immediately the Side Scroll. But right now, it looks like Kitana A bit too aggressive here, but he can though. That would be a lot of damage negated thanks to the wild growth. Now 4 or 5 members may respawn. We do see Gosu approaching the mid lane slowly. Hero's entrance, yeah, not yet available. Just a bit more. It will be up for cooldown. They might not wait. Kitana's impatient. Here comes the flag from Gosu. The Ragnarok has been burnt by Chaos, so that would be 1 ultimate down. Looks like Tristana, the Lulu has no ultimates ready. Only Sai and Gem have their ultimates up. So this is an easy way for ADDU to take the Cloud Drake.
He's 11 right now. And now that I notice, almost leaning towards the 5,000 gold deficit in favor of ADDU University. And it looks like they will be taking this Drake without any particular trouble whatsoever.
It's the fact that ADDU they have 4 ultimates up, whereas USEP they only had 2, and that's not even good because you're talking about a Maokai ult, the Mega Inferno Bomb from the Ziggs who deals to no damage right now. Still stacking up that Rod of the Ages. They have to wait it out at least the 25-minute mark this time because at that point I'm pretty sure the Rod of the Ages would be fully stacked.
And what's so tricky here is that if you're gonna look at things, in order for USEP to really go full-on win, I'd say in these clashes, there's a lot of reliance on the utility coming in from
That's good.
If I were Kitanda right now, man oh man, boy do I feel godly.
That feels godly. You feel unstoppable with the KD that is 811. And right now, this will be Gosu taking all the turret heads nature grabs. I don't think Sai will survive. Kitanda at this point is carrying this game with the immense snowball he got because of the incident in the red bomb. And now let's see, lockdown with the Cataclysm separating Kia. You can't run away from the Cataclysm, and the escape from Gosu with the hero's entrance. I think Kitanda, he might itch to go back in. May aim for Evian. See, he's going backside. Sneaky little guy in the map. He's still waiting it out with the
Has all the opportunities.
You don't see me, and the passive is there. Wild growth for the bird. Exhaust for the damage reduction, but that's not gonna stop him.
Oh man, and funny
flash.
you mentioned it.
Flash
Unstoppable he is right now.
Blast
Actually.
cone. Let's see who make it out.
Bounce, and no, not quite. That does get a bit of damage onto Bat though, but looks like instead they will be focusing on this Red Herald. This is gonna insert just so much pressure onto USEP.
Wow, Kitanda at this point is carrying the game. Oh, Unos, man. 1-1-1-1-1. As for USEP, what they can do right now, as I said before, wait for that charge. And their only point at this point is Evians. Okay, that's good. That's really good. He got 1 kill. That could be the start of something they could work with. And the Cloud Check will be live. At least the Drakes are not that behind. Ooh, pretty aggressive heal there to catch up to Vat, and it will be rewarding. Not. That would be a 1-for-1 trade, and it could be a 2-for-1. Aggressiveness from Evian may just pay the price and further slim down the chances of victory for AGS.
Yeah, but in consolation though, USEP was able to secure that outer mid turret, so that does give them a little bit more room to breathe as far as establishing control of this map. But then again, what kind of worries me is that, especially as a Maokai, you know, you ideally want to be able to deal with, I mean, as a tank in general, like, you kind of want to withstand those heavy damage dealers, but look at how fast Kitanda was able to get that shred onto that Maokai right here. And what kind of worries me is that looking at the itemization that Sai has been building thus far, has Mercury Treads, has Spectre's Cowl, not really that many champions that deal magic damage in the first place. So, especially when you're looking at Kitanda and Vat, they are kind of the threats here right now as far as damage. You kind of want to ideally prioritize maybe armor over the magic persist.
He could have actually finished up his Sunfire game.
Indeed.
Looks like the laning phase for Sai was a bit too difficult against the Galio, seeing how he was dealing a lot of damage. But now, thanks to the Galio, looks like Kitanda will have an easier time taking out Sai, but 2v1, he does not mind. There comes Gem from the backside. He does escape thanks to his shadows, leaving Gosu behind, but Gosu does have his flash and hero's entrance. They are splitting up the members of AGS, and now ROP is in the bot lane side, summoning the Red Arrow.
Yes, indeed, a very much welcome distraction there for ADDU University towards the top side, and in exchange, this might be the trade-off.
Evian, go back! He has Cataclysm and oh, he does not have Cataclysm yet, but that was actually a dangerous call. He is actually really close to one of the most hardest engaged that you will ever face, but now Gem is there for the response. He does pick up the Arm Seeker's Guard. Ah, another defensive item for Gem. At this point, they really have to stall and wait for Gem to feel comfortable going in and out, but that will be Kitana taking a lot of third hits. That will be at least 4 hits, and he does make it out alive.
I like this configuration though coming in from Ateneo to Davao University. So much pressure across the board. Bot lane's pushing, mid lane's pushing, top lane's pushing.
Pressure
so
all around.
this just forces USEP into a position where they have no choice but to respond basically.
Who is the major threat here? It's obviously Kitanda.
Definitely.
And seeing how the itemization path is going for the Olaf, the Maokai, it's split all throughout to even out the damage coming from the Galio. But I really hope that for Gem, I want to see him build more offensive. I mean, he does have the Arm Seeker's Guard. That's going to be very expensive. He's taking on a route that's very expensive, and he can't even afford it. He needs to at least, if he went for the Morello first, he would have a really good laning, but at least choose one defensive first. But he really rushed the Roa. Now he's going for the Arm Seeker's Guard with the Zonian's Hourglass. I'm pretty sure the next item he will get should be the Morello. For cooldown reduction and to remove the sustain, maybe coming in from the Cogmouth.
He wants to try to spam as many abilities as he can as the primary AP damage dealer, because across the board, sure, Maokai kind of deals a bit of AP, but ooh.
Oh, he's not even lasting. Is that attack? Kitana said, no, that's not attack to me, that's a minion. And look at that Hero's Entrance coming in. Kang will survive with 3 members knocked up to the air, and with an AoE taunt, 2 members locked in onto Gosu, while Kya is just mercilessly chasing down the low health targets. Now Kitana's very low. This could be the turning point. This could be Evian getting the kills and taking the resets, but the Monsoon will be the reset, healing them up. And look at the crit damage coming in from that Tristana. Beth is over that wall. Goes to go and another engage from Kang. A flash in. Where is the taunt? No taunt available. Kang takes down Gosu before he can do anything funny.
This is the tricky part here for Ateneo de Davao University right now. As this game goes on, because of the fact that, sure, one of the saving graces for Gem here by building 2 defensive items as the first 2 primary items is that, sure, Rod of Aegis as well as Zonius, that kind of puts Kitanda in an awkward position where it limits his assassination attempts here. So, especially once that Zonius is up, ideally he'd probably want to go for the Tristana, because, or even Dove at some point.
No, Kitanda sees the threat right now. It is Avian. The Infinity Edge is finished, thank God. The shift also has been completed with the Tier 1 boots, but let's see a short replay of what happened in the jungle.
Yes, here we go. A lot of commitment onto Sai here, so I feel like this is one of the tricky parts where ADDU kind of might have overcommitted their boundaries here. That's so much investment onto just the tank, so Kitanda was really banking on hoping to get that quick assassination right there. But here we go, so we have an extended chase here. Kya just really going hard onto Kitanda. And the trickiest part here is that in exchange, since everybody else from ADDU was kind of backing off here.
Oh, look at the damage coming from Evian too. That was a really close call.
Exactly. I mean, and Gosu just really front-lining here, but not much of a solid follow-up. That was an ult down for Jarvan the Fourth, so did go in, but couldn't really follow up with anything else, so that resulted to a 1-for-1. I feel like definitely could have gone better for ADDU considering their lead.
Move to Evian will be free in Khan. Okay, this is looking pretty good. The Rod of the Aegis will be completing near the 25-minute mark, as I said. So this is going to be very good for USEP. Maybe a comeback. Because right now they can back on Evian. And after Evian tries to fill in the shoes of Gem where he lacked a lot in, Gem can just buy it out. I mean, look at the Zonian's Hourglass, be more defensive. At this point, Kitanda's huge snowball is kind of slowing down. Finally, 10 stacks in a row, full investments there. Nature grabs is there, blocking that 3 members. The Monsoon is there for the heal. And obviously, you obviously want to go for the Giant, but Evian gets knocked into the air, changes to Vaz. Vaz does flash over that wall. But look at the range for Evian. He will be hitting Carly just a bit. No response coming in. The heroes Andrews is there for the escape. Losing Evian's cooldown should be up. There's the rocket jump over there. He gets up to the air. Double CC long, but Evian will be coming out on top. The passive is there for a lot of damage. That would be bad. Take him down. 4 members down. And with Kitana in the top lane, this will be a favorable trade for ADDU. And this is going to be the ace.
And the nice thing about this is because of USEP just going full commit onto these fights here, it gave so much room for Kitana to just split that one lane, just take on that Ziggs 1v1. What didn't quite I wasn't actually quite sure if he had his Zoners already during that 1v1 fight, but still nonetheless definitely worked in ADDU's favor, was able to kind of get that push on towards bot. Unfortunately didn't result to an inhibitor, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and check out that replay here as far as what transpired here. So Kitana going really hard onto Gem here. So wow, interesting.
Oh,
really good
call.
outplay. Yeah, very close. Very, very close.
So far, that would be a huge loss for AGS. And now, the Baron's live. Looks like the RNGs is set to use up that. I'm gonna give you 3 Cloud Drakes all out in a row. And ADDU, they really did well in the bot lane. And they are cashing in on that snowball thanks to Kitana. See? Slippery, deadly, and very quiet. This Kitana will not let anyone, especially Evian, to feel at least a bit confident, because at this point, it's all about confidence.
Yeah, looking at what transpired here in the other clash here, this was the overcommitment I've been talking about here. USEP is trying to push for things, although ultimately, I think what they underestimated is, especially here for Sai, gave enough time for the jungler to actually respond here.
Oh, Nature's Grasp for 3 members locking down. Looks like those 2 will be taunting. Sai, he is in critical health. He will make it out alive with Kang slaying that Kog'Maw, the Olaf rather, in the top lane. So this leaves the Baron available to take. I mean, free Baron?
Oh,
why
man.
not take it? Because jungler's gone, Sai used his ultimate, Inferno Bomb is on cooldown, same as Wild Throw. ADD right now is stacked. They are ready to go in a full-on fight. 5-4 ultimates all up for ADDU. They don't need to worry about any contest from AGS.
Oh, man. Oh, Kitana does as he pleases right there. Legendary now. That's insane. 16-1 on a Zed.
I gotta say, it all happened because of the red buff clash. Smallest mistake give you, you know what they say, you throw a rock in a snowy mountain and that could be a huge snowball. And
Oh,
that's what
definitely.
happened.
And I think this is the tricky part right here. USEP not realizing how these short-term mistakes really affect them in the long term right now. Again, Zed, definitely a champion you don't want to snowball early on, and they gave Kitana all the opportunity to just spiral out of control into the 16-1 that he has right now.
This is actually USEP an advantage where they do have the terrain working in their favor. Gem is available, Nature's Grab is gonna be used, and Mega Inferno Bomb is available, so this will be USEP going for the chase, but Kitana will be turning in the spy. He is in the jungle side. Kya will be taking down Kang, and here comes Kitana, zoning in. Who will I take? I'ma take this soft squishy guy. I'm going for Evian. He does succeed and makes it out alive. The distraction that Kitana did will offer another ace for ADDU.
Oh man, the ace indeed, triple kill right there for Vath, and this could potentially be the game. Super heavy death timers across the board.
Kitana used his himself as a fear, and the only damage dealing champions there was Gem, Evian. Maokai was tagging for no one. Kitana just completely scared them off and leaving Vath to just mow them down one by one, and I think this is going to be ADDU securing their victory against AGS.
Yeah, in a very convincing manner. Congratulations, ADDU.
Congratulations to AGS, ADDU on the red side. ROP, they will be the victorious ones in this game. I gotta say, a very convincing victory.
I gotta say, after that defeat that ADDU encountered from Saber University, Kitana, you know, just bringing all that rage into this game right here, that was, oh man, that was one crazy Zed. Probably one of the craziest Zeds I've seen in LCL this far.
And in a way that Zen did his job, because not only that he took down high priority targets, but he also did offer fear and a scare tactic towards USEP. So here are the endgame stats: 18, 1, and 3. I'm pretty sure the total damage dealt for Kitana will be exponential. I mean, I don't think anyone would compare. Looking,
Ooh,
there it is. I mean,
oh my goodness,
almost twice the damage dealt by this Tristana, and the Ziggs actually gets out damaged by the Gokmao. Ooh, interesting. So this is Kitana, high DPS, highest KDA. Congratulations to the, as we said, I think we did say that Kitana would be the star player for ADDU, and just goes to show. There you guys have it. That has been the game between USEP versus ADDU, with ADDU securing their victory. We have been the Shoutcasters. I am Vulcan, and with me is Arctic. See you after the short break. It's not even asking, is that attack? Kitana said, no, that's not attack to me, that's a minion. And look at that Hero's Entrance coming in. Kang will survive with 3 members knocked out to the air, and with an AoE taunt, 2 members locked in onto Gosu, while Kya is just mercilessly chasing down the low health targets. Now Kitana's very low. This could be the turning point. This could be Evian getting the kills and taking the resets, but the Monsoon will be the reset, healing them up. And look at the crit damage coming in from that Tristana. Beth is over that wall. Goes to go, and another engage from Kang. A flash in. Where is the taunt? No taunt available. Kang takes down Gosu before he gets to do anything funny. This is the nature drastic there. Looking at 3 members. The Monsoon is there for the heal. And obviously, you want to go for the Giant, but Evian gets onto the air. Changes to Vaz. Vaz does flash over that wall. But look at the range for Evian. He will be hitting Carly just a bit. No response coming in. The Heroes and he's there for the extend. This Evian's cooldown should be up. There's the rocket jump over there. He gets up to the air. Double CC long, but Evian will be coming out on top. The passive is there for a lot of damage. That will be fast. Taking him down. 4 members down. And with Kitana available, so this will be USEP going for the chase, but Kitana will be turning his spine. He is in the jungle side. Kya will be taking down Kang, and here comes Kitana droning in. Who will I take? I'm gonna take this soft squishy guy. I'm going for Evian. He does succeed and makes it out alive. The distraction that Kitana did will offer another ace for ADDU.
oh man, the ace and D triple kill right there.
To just mowed them down one by one, and I think this is going to be ADDU securing their victory against AGS.
Yeah, in a very convincing manner. Congratulations, ADDU.
Congratulations to AGS.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.